You don't care how people feel about the ritual. It's about just following the ritual work.
Yeah.
And so you can fool yourself into thinking there isn't one, but the evidence will be clear.
When Larenz Tate was a sitcom kid, he did have a lot of shows that didn't last. And I'm pretty sure at one point he felt like his career was not going in the direction it should. See, this is a testament that what is for you, and things happen in divine time.
Real deal is we don't own any platform the way we should. There's a few Black-owned platforms, but we don't have a lot of outlets. We don't have as many. So we are not sort of governing over these entities or these corporations.
Katt Williams has been warning us for years. Hollywood doesn't want the real ones in the spotlight. It's all about the fakes, the gatekeepers, the ones who play by the rules of the puppet masters. But if you've got real values and stand on principles, you're a threat, and threats get pushed out.
Hollywood likes to sort of devalue Black artists and Black folk because you get super talented people at a discounted rate.
According to Katt, that's exactly what happened to 90s icon Larenz Tate. Yeah, the same Larenz who owned the screen in Menace II Society, made everybody fall in love with him in Love Jones, and repped Black excellence every time he showed up. Then out of nowhere, he vanished. No drama, no arrests, no public breakdowns. He didn't crash out, he just slowly disappeared from the scene like someone hit the mute button on his career. So why did Hollywood suddenly lock the door on one of the most gifted Black actors of his era? Katt didn't spill every single detail, but he definitely dropped enough clues to get people talking.
When I be like, oh, these guys are wearing dresses. Everybody's like, oh, he keeps talking about people wearing dresses. No, it's not.
That is a weird thing.
It's not like that. Look at it from a different way. Look at it. Show me one person that ever wore a dress in Hollywood unsuccessful.
It's looking like Larenz might have turned down those shady behind-the-scenes offers that some actors accept to level up. You know the kind, those weird rituals and tests of loyalty that nobody wants to talk about in public. And in Hollywood, if you don't bow down, they can't use you. If they can't control you, you're a problem, and problems get erased. So why did the industry turn its back on Larenz Tate, quietly blacklisting a man who should have been a household name? Let's really dig into it. Back in the 90s, Larenz was that dude. You couldn't miss him. He was everywhere, and every role he touched turned to gold. He straight up snapped in Menace II Society as O-Dog, a wild gangster with zero chill and a mean streak that had people shook. Then he switched it up completely in Dead Presidents, playing a heartbroken soldier who came back from war only to get chewed up by the streets. The pain in his eyes? That was real acting. And don't even get started on Love Jones. Larenz had the ladies locked in as Darius Lovehall, the artsy, poetic, smooth talker with that quiet confidence.
This young man has obviously forgotten some very fundamental things like decency and dedication and honor. Everything the Corps taught us. He is a disgrace to everyone that has ever put on that uniform, and I will not permit you or him to use the Vietnam War as a cop-out here.
He wasn't just another actor. Nah, Larenz was our star. Black men looked up to him. Black women couldn't get enough of him. He had it all: skill, swag, and respect. And he wasn't out here wilding out or dragging his name through the mud. No scandals, no clout chasing, no drama. Larenz wasn't out here causing chaos. He just acted, and did it damn well. But then, out of nowhere, silence. No wild scandal, no viral meltdown, no shocking headlines. He just faded.
There's a little something I've been working on. It's new. I call it a blues for Nina. Ooh. Is that a smile me put on your face, child?
1 minute he was next in line to be Hollywood's top dog, and the next it was like someone straight muted his whole career. And that's what's so strange. Usually when a big name vanishes, there's some kind of mess behind it. Rehab rumors, lawsuits, or a career-killing scandal. But with Larenz, nothing. No wreckage. Just a slow, quiet exit from the spotlight he used to own. Now, yeah, Larenz still pops up here and there in some projects, but it's never been the same. That superstar glow he once had, Hollywood dimmed it on purpose. And now people are starting to believe what Katt Williams has been screaming all along might actually be true. Word is, Larenz started saying no to the roles that didn't sit right with him. He wasn't trying to play into stereotypes, and he definitely wasn't about to take on those roles that felt straight up degrading.
Who gonna turn down $50 million? Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times, just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right, because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no.
Including reportedly ones where he'd have to wear a dress. That's where he drew the line. He wanted to do real work, powerful work, but let's keep it real. When you start turning stuff down in Hollywood, especially as a proud, grounded black man who knows his value, the calls stop coming. And that's no accident. The industry doesn't want too many strong, clean-cut, self-respecting black men who refuse to play their game. See, Hollywood's always played this sneaky numbers game when it comes to successful black men. There's an unspoken limit. Like they can only let one fully shine at a time. They'll pick a favorite, hand him the awards, the elite roles, the long-lasting career. But behind the scenes, everyone else gets boxed in as the sidekick, the comic relief, or stuck in roles that keep recycling the same tired storylines.
What they all end up saying at the end of the day. Kevin told you he wasn't gonna wear no dress until...
No. Oh, no.
So they offered him the dress, and then he put it on. And what did he say after he wore it? I made my own decision. Duh. But you didn't make it before they brought it up, did you? It's okay.
Meanwhile, these studios are throwing millions at scripts where black actors are stuck playing the same trauma-filled roles, struggling in the streets, broken homes, drug stories, on repeat. Why? Because like Spike Lee said, Hollywood is comfortable with black pain. That kind of storytelling is safe for them. It sells tickets without shaking up the system. It doesn't challenge the status quo. But a proud, self-respecting black man who refuses to sell out just to grab a check, that's a problem. That kind of man is dangerous to their setup. That's the type of person young kids might admire. That's the one who might speak up, question things, and call out the BS, and they can't have that. So yeah, they'll give you one Denzel, but even he had to walk a tightrope, be flawless, extra polished, never step out of line. Larenz didn't vanish because he lost his touch. He disappeared because he refused to play the role they wrote for him. And this right here is what Katt Williams has been shouting about for years. At first, people clowned him, saying he was wild, bitter, or just ranting. But now, folks are starting to connect the dots. They're circling back and realizing Katt wasn't crazy. He was speaking facts. And that's exactly why they tried so hard to shut him down. Who gonna turn down all that? Katt said. I did. One thing Katt keeps pressing is how Hollywood doesn't just hand you success, they test you. It's not always about talent, it's about obedience, control. And people stay stuck on the whole men in dresses debate, but according to Katt, it ain't really about the dress itself.
Is we don't own any platform the way we should. There's a few black-owned platforms, but we don't have a lot of outlets. We don't have as many. So we are not sort of governing over these entities or these corporations to say, hey, you guys have a great story, y'all want to tell it, and there's money to be made, come here. So when we do find those places, everybody's trying to go through one keyhole. Everybody's trying to go through one tunnel. And even when you go to non-black-owned places, they'll tell you to go over there, because they have to find value in what we do. And that's changing quite a bit as we're making it very...
It's about what it represents, humiliation, submission. And once you give in to their game, they own you for life. But Katt didn't stop there. He took it even deeper, breaking it down on a spiritual level. He's been saying the industry ain't just corrupt, it's straight up dark. Katt linked all these so-called rituals to something way more disturbing. Stuff tied to elite circles and whispers about Baphomet worship. According to him, it's not really about the dress, it's about what it means. It's about submission, giving up your power, and handing control over to forces that go way beyond movie sets and casting calls. Once you cross that line, it's not just your career on the line, it's your soul. Now think about Larenz Tate. This man had everything: raw talent, charisma, respect, and a clean image. He was set to be the guy, but instead of blowing up like he should have, he just
work twice as hard to get twice as less as our counterparts, right? And that being said, we're not valued, I believe we're supposed to be valued. So those budgets are really important for us so that we can have the kind of quality that we can present to the consumer. And the smaller the budget, the more creative you have to get. And we don't have resources oftentimes as our
Disappeared. And not because he wasn't enough, but because maybe, just maybe, he reached that final door. I saw what was on the other side when and said, nah, I'm good. Larenz has even hinted in interviews that he didn't fall off, he walked away. And that says everything. Larenz didn't take the bait. He refused to sell out, and that really shook them. But he didn't just walk away from Hollywood's twisted game. He started talking, saying the kinds of truths that make the industry squirm in their seats. Larenz called out something most black actors are pressured to stay quiet about, the pay gap. Even with all that talk about diversity and inclusion, Larenz made it loud and clear. Black actors are still getting lowballed, even when they bring the same star power, the same box office numbers, and the same loyal fan base as their white counterparts.
I heard on the street, Taraji, you had the audacity to say you're thinking about stopping acting. We said, stop talking. Are you thinking about it?
I'm just tired of working so hard, being gracious at what I do, getting paid a fraction of the cost. I'm tired of hearing my sisters say the same thing over and over. You get tired. I hear people go, you work a lot. I'll have to. The math ain't that.
And trust, Hollywood doesn't want that truth floating around. They expect black actors to smile, say thank you, take whatever crumbs they're offered, and keep their mouths shut. But the second someone speaks on real fairness or starts asking for power behind the scenes, that's when the strings get pulled. That's when the machine starts working against you. Just ask Taraji P. Henson or Monique. The moment they stood up and said, pay me what I'm worth, they got slapped with labels like difficult, ungrateful, or hard to work with. Meanwhile, white actors are out here negotiating for millions and getting praised for knowing their value. Make it make sense. But Larenz didn't stop there. He didn't just talk about the check. He broke down how it's not enough to just throw black faces in lead roles and call it progress. He said what nobody else wanted to say. Real representation isn't just about who's on screen. It's about who has the power, who gets the say, and who controls the narrative. The real issue, it's not just who's on camera, it's about who's behind it. The ones calling the shots, deciding which stories get told and which ones get locked away forever. As long as that power stays in the same hands, nothing really changes.
Hollywood has always taught us we don't translate overseas or worldwide. Right. But when you start traveling and you go everywhere and you can't walk down the street, you then know that there's been somebody telling you something all along that's right. Wrong. And my true belief as to why they do it is because Hollywood likes to sort of devalue black artists and black folk because you get super talented people at a discounted rate. You get a Hollywood likes to get really talented black folks and get them at a discounted rate. Only, certain superstars that can hit that level that they would feel like they would put a machine behind. But the truth of the matter is we do translate because we're humans just like everyone.
Because representation without control, that's just smoke and mirrors. Larenz Tate didn't sell out, and that's exactly why they tried to erase him. He didn't play their game. He didn't bow down. He never traded his pride or his dignity just to land a flashy role. And you know what that cost him? Everything. The offers stopped coming. The big studios went silent. The media turned the other way. He went from being a leading man to a straight-up ghost. And not because he wasn't talented. Nah, it was because he couldn't be owned. Hollywood didn't just cancel Larenz. They buried him, quietly, strategically. That's their move when you're too clean to drag through the mud, but too strong to bend to their agenda. But now, the truth is finally bubbling up, and the fact that Katt Williams is name-dropping Larenz Tate, that means something big. No matter how hard they try to bury the truth the system can't keep it hidden forever. Real ones speak up, eventually. Larenz Tate didn't just fall off, he escaped. He walked away from the machine, and now the real story is starting to leak through the cracks. The silence around him wasn't a coincidence, it was calculated. So now I want to hear from you. Why do you think Hollywood stopped calling Larenz? Was it because he said no to those shady rituals Katt exposed? Is it about the pay gap? Or could this whole thing run even deeper? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm reading all of them. And if you're rocking with this breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you never miss a drop. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.